Hey guys, wow, our world has changed so much in the last week. It's just insane. So I just wanted to talk to you guys quickly today about 10 ways that you can be productive while you're in isolation. Um, since COVID-19 outbreak has been so widespread, schools are shut down, shops, um, shopping malls. I mean, you can't go to a coffee shop and sit down. You can't go to a restaurant. All those things are just closed. It's absolutely crazy how much this is affecting everything. And of course, markets are down. The price of oil is down. Everything looks like we're headed towards a recession, and it's just absolutely crazy. And that drives people towards being panicked and being really afraid. And there definitely is a lot of uncertainty, but we can still be very productive while we're at home. So I want to talk about 10 little things that I've thought of. I mean, I'm not an expert, but these are some things that I'm striving towards so that I can be productive while we're in this time of isolation. So the first is grow a quarantine beard. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of us are doing that, but it's not necessarily productive. It's just a funny thing since you don't have to be at your day job making a good impression. You can just let your facial hair grow if it can, which some people are more successful than me at that. But anyway, we're moving on to the real list. So first of all, waking up still at a set time. So, I mean, last week, I started off the week being pretty productive, and it was good because I had some routine. My wife was still going to work in the morning, but then she had some time booked off because we were planning on doing some things over March break, and of course those things got canceled. So without having that set time to wake up every morning, I mean, you're starting behind the eight ball because you wake up at 11 or whenever, you just roll out of bed whenever you feel like, and it's just hard to get a good running start when you don't wake up at the same time. So I would say, first of all, having that routine of waking up at the same time is going to set you up for success in your day, helping you to be more productive. Second is create a schedule for your day. So like my wife is back to work today. We just found out she's going to be on rotating shifts. So I mapped out my day while I was sitting down, having some breakfast, having some coffee. I mapped out what I'm going to do today, what I need to accomplish with my time. So, and then I don't fall into the trap of binge watching a show or wasting 4 hours playing COD when I could be productive, right? So the third one is limiting snacking. So, we all got the necessities. We all went out and we stocked up on Kawartha Dairy ice cream and our Storm chips. Some people don't even know what those are, but like when you're facing potentially being stuck at home, everyone tends to stock up on chips. So we did that. We got lots of chips, and they're really enjoyable only if you just have them as a treat. Like it should be once a day max. When you sit down and you're watching a show or something and you eat that whole family bag of chips, you just feel like crap afterwards. And don't ask me how I know that. I heard it from a friend. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. So next up, number 4, is tackling projects around the house that you've been putting off. So, I mean, like any guy who has a house, I've got the big honey-do list, things that my wife wants me to get done. And those things get put off, especially when you're really busy, you're running around, you're volunteering, you're working different jobs. Those things just get put on the back burner. But this is a perfect time to tackle those things. And not only do you feel better because it's not weighing on the back of your mind, but your wife's a little happier, and that always benefits you, right? So that's good. Number 5 is reading good books. I mean, I've been trying to build my discipline of reading my Bible every day, and I mean, I always have good nonfiction books on the go, but I mean, one's sitting on my nightstand, one's downstairs, and one's in my work bag, and if I'm not careful, they just sit there with the bookmarker in it for months, and then they're just constant reminders that, hey, I'm not progressing, I'm not learning as much as I should be learning. So it makes you feel bad when you see them. But when you're actually spending some time set aside to read those books, every time you see them, you're like, oh yeah, that's good. I'm making progress. I'm doing something productive. That's good. Yeah. Number 6 is decluttering your home or workspace. My wife says that I would be a hoarder if it wasn't for her. I mean, she's definitely teaching me to let go of things that I don't need, things that I'm like, oh, I might fix it someday, or yeah, what if I need that? And it's like, you haven't needed it for 2, 3, 5 years. Like, you're not going to need it anytime soon. So when you're decluttering, I mean, we sort of have 3 things that we do when we're getting rid of things. If we had some valuable items that were worth selling, I mean, we try to sell things first, but I mean, it's usually cheap $20, $30, $40 things that we bought that we don't need anymore, and now no one's putting in the time and effort to track those things down on Kijiji or Facebook, so we just give them away. So first we look at friends or family, people close to us. I mean, I find guys that are skinnier than me that can still fit into clothes that I used to wear, so I give clothes to them if they want them and need them. I mean, we stopped using our Keurig when we switched, and like we just do fresh ground coffee for everything now. So I mean, we've got a K-cup holder thing, and I was like, oh, I've got a buddy in college that they have a Keurig. He'll like it. Okay, he'll need it, and I gave it to him. So it's just maximizing the impact of those things. I mean, you bought them with good intentions and now you don't need them anymore, so it benefits someone else instead of just throwing them away. And then the second tier there is, does anyone want them? So if someone would use it, then we take it and donate it if we don't know someone in particular that needs it. And then it's just not being afraid to throw things away. I mean, if it's just junk, don't make work for that poor person working at the thrift store that's got to sort through your trash. Just throw it out. Just get rid of it. I mean, that's always the hardest one for me, to see something that I bought go in the garbage. But I mean, sometimes that's necessary. And then that declutters your space and helps you focus, helps you concentrate. Those things all help you down the line. So it's good. Next is working out. I mean, really, it's not necessary for you to go to the gym. I mean, this has been a harder one for me to get into the swing of like working out at home. But I mean, you can do body weight exercises anywhere you are. You can do push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, like all those things. I mean, I've even got a treadmill in the basement. I've got a heavy bag I can punch. I've got a few small weights, kettlebells, slam ball, things like that. You can work out with all those things. And when all else fails, you can run. I mean, I love to go for a run, a loop around the neighborhood. I have a couple friends that are starting to train and run as well. So that's a great time to get your vitamin D, get your sun, get out there, get moving. It's awesome. And you can also double those things up where if you need to be productive and get things done, but you also want to get exercise, there's lots of projects that you can do around the house that also give you exercise. Raking the grass, cutting the grass, planting gardens, like all those things are actually physically demanding on your body. So if you plan those things out, that can be your workout if you don't have time to squeeze one in as well. I mean, if you're locked down like me though, you should have time for both. All right. Next is call people that you care about. I mean, I definitely fall into the trap where I'm like, oh, I'm so busy. It's so hard to find the time to call people and whatever. But I mean, when you have tons of time like this, it's very important to prioritize those relationships, those close family. I mean, my mom, my dad, stepdad, stepmom, like all those people that I need to make time for to foster those relationships and build those things up. I mean, it's a priority, right? And I mean, as much as those things, we can take them for granted, at a time like this when there are people dying, it's like, wow, what if something happened to one of them and I didn't take the time to invest in that relationship? If I hadn't talked to them in a month, I would feel completely terrible. So make sure you take time to show people how much you care. call, reach out, connect over FaceTime or Zoom or something like that. I mean, investing in those relationships is so invaluable. And even if you're able to do training for work or something like that over video conferencing, I mean, there's been a huge explosion of that working at home type technology. I mean, for my financial services practice, we've been using Zoom a lot, and it's been awesome to do some training, even cross training between teams. Things that wouldn't happen if people were out in the field more, but right now we can really focus and hone our skills. So that's been an awesome thing. Okay, that was a side tangent, sorry. Number 9, so take time for prayer. God is our Heavenly Father. I mean, just like your dad would be so happy if you called him up, even if you hadn't talked to him in a while, God's the same way. He's more than happy to hear from you anytime you take the time aside to pray. And I mean, not everyone watching this has a relationship with God. Not everyone here even believes there is a God, but you know what? It's my channel. I'll come from my perspective, and hopefully you can benefit from it anyway. All right. And number 10, developing a hobby or a skill. I think that all these things help us to be more useful and more effective. I mean, I want to be valuable to the people around me. So the more that I can take time to invest in things that I have an interest in and learn new skills, learn new things, it just benefits everyone around me. Even if it's not a direct benefit, it just, because it pours into me and makes me more valuable, then indirectly it helps me to be more confident in my workplace. It helps me to lead and be a stronger man in my home or in my community, right? So I mean, I have interests like woodworking, gardening. I like music, painting, firearms, archery, mixed martial arts, and distance running. Like, all those things are things that I really like and I take an interest in, but they're not necessarily things that I've taken enough time to really learn everything that I could about them. So I mean, music, I have that on the list because, like, I love to sing, but also I would love to learn an instrument, and we have a piano here. Katie knows how to play it. I mean, I could take some time over the next 2 weeks and focus and learn some skills there. So take some time to learn a new skill or develop a new hobby. That'd be great. So those are 10 simple ways that we can be productive while we're in isolation, while we're on lockdown. I mean, those aren't a comprehensive list. You probably have some that I didn't think of. And I mean, I had more comprehensive notes, but I hate staring at notes too. So I didn't necessarily say everything I had on the page, but I really value your guys' insights. Put other things below that I might not have thought of or whatever. Please put a like on this video. I'm not as polished as some other people on this platform, but I just want to share my insights and talk to you guys because I really enjoy doing this. So, all right, guys, until next time, see you. God bless.